Yeah, so we are live now. Rahul, you can continue.
Okay. Um, first, like we'll go over the basics of Vim. Today's session is for like beginners who are starting to who are wanting to learn about Vim and how to use Tmux. Uh, so yeah. So when you type Vim is basically a text editor in Linux. So like there is Notepad in Windows, there's Vim in Linux. There are also other text editors like Nano or Joe or um, X is a previous one, older one. But yeah. So if I type in, like, let's say I want to create a file, Vim mm, today. So today was not a file. If I check it ls today, it's not a file. But if I do today, then it has opened up a file, and there are different modes in Vim, right? So if I right now I'm doing HJU, so nothing, I'm not able to write anything. So if I do I, then it goes into insert mode, and I can write anything. So um, whatever you want to write, and then um, to come out of the insert mode, you press escape. So now you are in command mode. This is basically this is a command. Not it cannot be called as command mode, but normal mode. Command mode is when you type in colon. So over here you can type, I mean, anything. Um, there are different commands. I'll introduce you later. So you can type in to go into insert mode, then you can write. Now if you want to let's say mm, go to write into a newer, I mean, next line. So over here, if I write something and then I want to write in the next line, so I'm at this line, and then I want to write a new line. So many people would do I, go into insert mode, then go to last, then press enter, and then write something. But you can, I mean, do something else also. You can type in O. So what O does is, like, it makes it goes into insert mode, but then puts your cursor on the next line in the insert mode. And if you do capital O, it would put you into insert mode, but then um, but insert mode in the, I mean, above line. So what I'm doing is, I'm typing in U for undoing anything. So if I typed in something, some content, and then enter some another content, and then I want to undo it, so I can type in U, and then it undoes it for me. And then I can type in Control R, it redoes it for me. I can type in capital A for a capital A. What capital A does is, it puts me into insert mode, and then go puts the cursor at the last of the current line. So I mean, it up you can append anything um, after the at the last of the current line with capital A. Capital A, I'm going into last line. You can type in capital I to insert anything into the first line. So, and then capital A in the last line. You can go uh, now if I am somewhere in between, let's say over here, and I want to. There are also another mode like append mode. Append mode is also, if I type in just A, what it would do is it would put me into insert mode, but then after the current position where I was.
Hi Rahul, is
Yeah.
your screen changing? I can't seem to see any changes.
Yeah. I mean, um, is my screen is changing.
Anyone else is facing this problem? I think Nikhil is also having the same thing.
Yes, it's
Yes, I am also having the
the
same
same for
issue
me
as
as well.
well. I think screen sharing.
Let me refresh them.
And also, please increase the font size if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hello.
Yeah, you are audible.
Are you able to see now?
I, for me, I cannot see your screen. Can anyone else confirm?
Wait. Screen sharing. Now, can you see it now?
Yeah, now I can see your screen. Yeah.
Okay. Since when did you? I mean,
So, when the first time you opened the terminal and the moment you started the screen sharing, so we were
oh,
seeing that screen only. So whatever you matlab, shared after that, we were not able to see it. At least
so
me and Arjun was not
pretty
able
much
to.
everything.
Yeah. So I guess we will have, you will have to reiterate everything.
Okay. Um, yeah. So let's say there's no file today, ls today. I cannot see any file over here. I'm doing Vim today. Now, if I type in hi, so I mean it did not write in over here, right? So it put me when I typed in hi, it put me into insert mode over here. So you can see insert written over here. But so there are different modes in Vim that you can go into. So there is I. When you type in I, it goes into insert mode. When you type in A, it's append mode. It's not. It's basically insert mode only, but then puts your cursor in after the current position. Um, so if you typed in like capital I and capital A, capital I is um, insert at the beginning of the line. Capital A is insert append at the end of the line. There is small o, there is capital O. What small o does is um, puts into insert mode, and in the next line, capital O puts you in insert mode in the previous line. Um, what else? Yeah, W writes uh, the writes to the file. Q quits uh, the Vim editor. X write and quit. Mm, yep. Zero takes you to the beginning of the line. Dollar takes you to the end of the line. Um, what else? Let's cover this first. Oh, G takes you. Um, GG takes you to the top of the file. Capital G takes you to the end of the file. Yeah, so you can go ahead and try with me. How many of you do not use Vim over here, or I mean, have been using Vim over here? Is there anyone who do not use Vim?
Me, Nikhil. Uh, I do not really like them.
Oh, but have you used it?
Yeah, I have used it, but the main problem that is I do not really remember those shortcuts that Vim offers. There are so many of them. That's the main reason I do not use Vim. But I do know that Vim holds so much power that I have never seen, that I have never used. So maybe I will learn today something.
Oh, okay. Uh, yeah. So let's go with this. I'm typing in. So when I type in, like, okay, colon takes you into the command mode, escape takes you out of any mode, or takes you in replace mode. Um, um, used only to replace one character. Capital R takes you in replace mode, used for replacing any number of characters. V takes you, wait, visual mode. So there are also like shift V. Shift V is a visual mode for um, marking lines. I'll cover it. I'll cover all of these. Control V is visual mode for um, marking blocks of lines. Yeah. So if I type in, like, let's yeah, let's go over here. New line. Uh, if I type in, I'm right now, I'm in no, I'm in no mode whatsoever. Okay, so you can see I'm in no mode because there's nothing over here at the bottom. So when you see nothing at the bottom, so you are in no mode. When you type in I, you are in insert mode. Now you can write anything. So my first line, I type in escape, I'm again in a normal mode. If I type in, so I is covered. If I type in I again, now it is into insert mode, and I can type in over here anything. My first um, space line. Um, and if I type in, let's say I go at the last of the line. I'm at I'm I'm like towards the last. And if I want to write any full stop after line, so you some people would go into insert mode I, and then go press their right cursor, like go to the right side and then press dot. But then this is like three moves, right? So if I type in U, this is taking me back. So this is. Anyone has any question? No. Okay. Uh, but if I type in A, and then I can type in dot. So A is took me into insert mode, but then after the current character. So if I type in, like, let's say for after Y A, and then I'm into insert mode, but then after the current character. If I was typing in I over here, but then it is insert mode, but on this position. Position is different when in I and A. Also, like the capital versions of I and A. So if I type in capital I, it is in insert mode at the beginning of the current line. And if I type in, if I'm in the middle of the line right now, and if I type in capital A, I'm in insert mode at the last of the line. So I'm ready to append to the current line, not like where I was. Uh, if I want to write anything uh, beneath this line, so many people would do I and then press right cursor and then hit enter and then write something. But then again, this is also very uh, like number of characters you would want to uh, type in. So you could just say O. So you are into insert mode, but then on the next line, right? If I want to go into insert mode on the previous line, I could do capital O. So capital O put me above the line and then move the current line downwards. So it created a, say if I type in capital O over here, it created a new space over here, right? Uh, and if I type in small o, it created a new space beneath that line, right? Uh, so this is covered, and then write, as I told you, it writes to the file. If I quit, and then Q is for quitting. If I type in Q, it would not be able. I would not be able to quit because you need to. I mean, there's content in the buffer of Vim right now that you have not flushed out uh, to the disk. So right, what W does is it flushes all of the buffer to the disk, writes everything to the file, and now you can quit out of it. Q, right? You could do uh, oh now if I want to, let's say, delete some line, so you can type in D deletes D D deletes lines, current line, and then if I type in D and then uh, like let's say one, I don't remember what single D does. Would need to check that out. No, wait.
D just waits for the next like DWD, what the movement, right?
Oh, so if I do D and then down, oh, okay, D and then up, no, D up,
So for example, you can do D and then curly brace that will delete till the next para, right?
D curly brace. No, it didn't. Oh, okay. You are saying that it deletes everything to the top.
D is like a verb, and then it is waiting for the command. Like, till where do you want me to delete? Right?
Oh, okay. So yeah, learn new thing. Um, so for from DD you can use to delete it, and then if you want to delete only a character, you can type in X, deletes a single character. Um, X, this is in command mode, so colon X, right? Uh, yeah. Right now we have written something to the file, and then there is something in the buffer that we have not written yet. So if I quit it, oh, did I write it? Maybe I wrote it. Let's add something new. Quit. Now I would not be able to quit it, but then if I type in colon X, it would write and quit out of the file. uh, there's also exclamation point. So what it does is it's basically force. So anything that you want to do, you can type in like exclamation, it forces it. So like if I write in something garbage over here, and then I want to force something, quit out of it. I'm not able to quit out of it, but then I do not want to save anything, so I'm force quitting it. So it would not save it, as you can see over here. Um, and if you can use in place of uh, colon x, you can say garbage, and if you want to write it, you can say wq. So you can mix up commands over here. um, so if you want to delete, as Animesh mentioned, if you want to like uh, you can use D with another things, so that is why you can use D and then capital G. So it is deleting everything from the current line to the end of the line, because as you can see, capital G takes you to the end of the line, to the end of the file. So when you say D and then capital G, so delete everything until the end of the line, right? And then if you say DGG, it would delete everything from current uh, position to the top of the file. Um, yeah, escape we have covered. R, so like let's say I want to replace this I with capital, this F with capital F. So R, capital F, and then if I type in something over here, let's say um, H, I'm not able to type in because it is not into insert mode. So R it puts you into replace mode. Then F, again, I'm unable to replace anything. If I type in capital R, um, it, it puts me into permanent replace mode until I do escape. So if I do FIR, I mean capital Shift FIRST. So yeah, V is visual mode. So V da 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 da. And then if I want to copy it, I can say Y and then uh, paste it with P. So with um, Y, copy, P, paste, copy, selected content in visual mode, paste copied content in normal mode. Um, so if I want to like let's say copy the whole line, so I can say Shift V, so it selects all the line, and then if I um, go move my cursor above and below, it would select all of whole lines above and below. And then if I do Y and then P, it would again copy and then paste all of the lines that you have selected and copied. Um, Control V is for blocks. So like Control V, and then I can do um, select anything in blocks. The use case of this that I use is like I usually select um, things in blocks. So let's say I'm over here and then I want to um, insert, let's say, double hyphen over here. So Control V, da, 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 and then I would do cap Shift I, so it puts me into insert mode. But then after I've selected all of these lines in the um, block visual mode, and then if I do hyphen and then escape, now what it would do is it has written hyphen before all of these lines that I selected in the visual mode. Again, I can do Control V, da, 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 like all of this, and then X, so it would delete everything. Um, so we have not covered the zero and dollar. So if I am over here, I can, if and I want to go to the beginning of the line, I can type in zero. I want to go to the end of the line, I can type in dollar. There are also people who say like you can use HJKL for movement, but then I do not find it any useful. I just use arrow keys. So for H you can go to left, for L you can go to right, J you can do down, K you can do up. But I don't find it useful. I find arrow keys very much comforting for me. Um, yeah, so Vim this is all of the Vim that I have to share with you for beginners to start. Any questions?
I have a small question. Have you ever used micro um text editor or micro IDE?
I have not used anything except Nano and Vim and Joe, but then I was like irritated with its keys, so I did not use it.
Are you talking about Joe?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's also like that is kind of my favorite. I do not know why. So
okay, but
okay, like, can you please share some plugins or some extensions that I can use if I'm using Vim? Like
I
for
have
example, with
I
C
I I,
language.
I tried using extensions, but then they were like breaking in my system, so I did not go for it. And I mean, I do not find any use case for them for using plugins in my like day to day life. So yeah, I do not use plugins. This is just basic Vim that I wanted to introduce you to.
All right.
This is all that I know in Vim basically right now.
Okay, and you are able to use it in your daily life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So all right, so I will also try to use them from now on.
Or
And
anything like writing code or something. So I either use like Visual Studio or sometimes like for shell scripts, Vim is my go-to. Like I do not need anything to remember because or maybe auto completion because it's like very basic, so you remember all of the things.
all right, sure.
You
So
have anything that like you I hope you use Vim daily. um, this is very like easy.
yeah, I will try my best. I've also seen many users from here, like Arjun and I guess Animesh using Vim. So many people use Vim in ILUG-D, so I guess I will also give it a
Yeah,
try.
well, I use a lot of editors. Vim, Nano.
My go-to editor is Micro if I'm on terminal, and if I want to use some geo editor, then I generally go for Sublime
Yeah,
because
same here for
I
Sublime.
I really like Sublime, and that's it.
There are also other things that I read, but then I forgot. So here I made a sheet out of it. Whatever I learned, if anyone is interested, they can go
Make
Yeah.
through.
that sheet shareable and maybe share it in
Yeah.
here. It will be
Um,
at least helpful for me.
share with people.
And highlight the exit command. That's the one most me trolled for.
How do I share it publicly? They have changed their settings. Editors can change permission. How do I share it publicly?
Something that I found a lot of people miss when they are in Vim is autocomplete, and I'm not sure how many know this. So I'm just putting it out there. Uh, Basic Vim without anything has got autocomplete.
Can you share with us?
Yeah, you can just so if you go back to your file uh, and try typing a word, you can just do Control N and it will autocomplete from your existing. For example, I can see characters written over there, right? So you
Control
can
N.
do CHA and Control N while in insert mode.
Okay. So CHA Control N. Oh.
Yeah, and then I think,
Right. How
yeah.
do I do characters?
So you
Character.
can use movement keys to switch between. Those are two things predicted.
CHA
See,
control N and then
just enter will do. I think. I mean, I have set up key bindings so that tab works, but uh,
okay.
this is there
Tab.
in.
Got it.
You
Got it.
know,
Yeah.
this same thing. Like there's so many key bindings in Vim that for me it is kind of unusable. I will like to use that term. For me, it's kind of really unusable. In micro, you have at least some good key bindings. For example, if you want to copy, then Control C will work there. If you want to quit, then Control W will work there. So simple bindings are there.
You can actually set those up for Vim. You don't have to stick to the default bindings.
I do
Yeah,
not
I,
know,
I
man,
yeah
but
I read about it. Bind. There's yeah there is it's possible. Are you able to see like the shareable link? Visit the shareable link.
I think we can conclude this talk and then we can talk about other stuff. That's fine.
Yeah. So Tmux is also left. This was about Tmux. Starting with Tmux and Vim. So how many of you do not use or Tmux day to day? Is there
Not
Uh,
much.
anyone who do not use Tmux?
Not Tmux, but I generally use Baibu.
Oh, okay. I do not use Biobu. So I mean, I do. You can teach us Biobu in a later talk, but then yeah. So basics of Tmux that we can again write it in a file. Vim Tmux. So these are the bindings that I know. So Control B is the meta character that you use for Tmux, and then if you want to split it horizontally, then you can do Control. Oh, then you can use this split horizontally. If you want to split vertically, if you want to switch, then you can use arrow keys. Um, Also, what else was there? Mm, yeah, Z for zoom into a pane. So there's also like the concept of windows and panes in Tmux. So this that you're seeing over here, zero. This is the window. So then there comes pane. So this is a pane that you are into control BQ. So 0 and 1 pane, right? So there are panes, and there are also sessions. So now session we will cover, like let's say if I do if you want to exit out of a Vim of Tmux, then you do um, D for detach. So let's say I want to detach from this, control B and then D. I'm detached, and then if I do tmux ls, I can see over here that there's a tmux session already available to me for attaching. I can use tmux a or tmux attach for attaching to that session. I usually use tmux a. I'm back in, but then I want to, let's say, start a new tmux. So I can say tmux, and then over here, let's say run htop, and then detach again from this, control B D. Then if I do tmux ls, I can see two windows over here. If I want to, let's say, attach to the zeroth session, tmux a hyphen t 0, then I'm back into this. And then if I want to, let's say, attach to the another session, the first number of session, then I can do tmux a1. So yeah, if you want to, let's say, create new windows, you can use C. If you want to close out the window, you can use ampersand. Um, oh yeah, you can use O for switching. And if I remember exactly, oh yeah, space for changing view of panes. So I can do control B, space, 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 space. Yeah. So it is changing how I view all of the um, panes in that window. And then if I want to, let's say I'm in this uh, TF-H, and I want to, let's say, switch up the panes, control B O. I'm switching to the above, and then control B O, then down, control B O here. And then if I do control B, control O, I can actually move panes in that order. So yeah, meta plus control O, um, s- switch my move panes, and meta. Everything is meta plus. Okay, so I'm removing meta. Um, control arrow keys for resizing panes. So control B down with control. So it's resizing. Control B Z. It zoomed me in. Control B down. Delete. Control B down. Delete. Yeah. Also, I don't remember anything specific other than this in Tmux. Do anyone else has to say anything about Tmux other than this? So moving. Oh yeah, we can also uh, switch between windows with um, N and then P and then L. So m- moves to next window. P moves to previous window. L moves to last window. So let's see it in um, let's see it live. So I'm running htop over here, and then previously I'm running let's say watch IPA. Um, yeah, maybe watch sudo cat proc interrupts. Uh, so and let's go over here and run iotop and over here, and then let's not run anything over here, right? So if I these are at the bottom, you can see zero window, first window, second window, third window, fourth window, and then this zero over here, this is the session, the current session I'm attached to. So I'm in the zeroth Tmux server session. If I want to switch to another session, as I told you earlier, so you can attach to different session like this. If you want to, let's say, I'm right now in the second window over here. So as you can see, star. So star is against the second window, where I can, if I want to switch to third window, then I can do control B N, and then again I want to do next control B N, H top, control B N. I'm back to zero. Now, if I want to, let's say, go to previous, like 0 from 1, I can do control B P, control B P, control B P. And then I want to, let's say, switch from first to fourth, or maybe first to third. So control B 3. And then if I want to go again from 3 to 1, control B L. So L is for last. So if you can if you are doing some task in different windows and then want to switch back and forth from your tasks, you can use L for switching back. um, Control B ampersand, so would kill that window. So yep, control B ampersand yes, control B ampersand yes, control B ampersand yes. I'm back to this window. Yeah, what else was there? There's too much. Yeah, if you want to scroll in Tmux, let's say I type in many of the things over here, ifconfig, and then I want to scroll up in Tmux, I can do control B and then bracket. So then I can go up and then down, or maybe page up and then page down. So control B, then for scrolling, um, what else? Also, I've written made a sheet for this. I'm sharing it with you if anyone of you want to, like. Anyone has questions?
Yeah, I'm just sharing the YouTube chat. Wait. Also, can you please answer that question that I shared? Like, would like it if maps could be covered. I don't know much about them. The comment that I made.
uh, I do not know about them either, because I do not. I'm not like pro in Vim, so this was just an introduction to it.
So I know a bit, so I don't recall much. I think they are used to control the navigation in the will. I don't recall it.
So, can you share your screen and then show us?
No, I don't recall. Actually, I just have the flashes of my memory that I set this variable once to stop my mouse navigation on in the web.
Maybe Arjun, if you are available and you are on your laptop, then
Let me just check it. Okay.
can you please answer that like by showing it?
Yeah, sure. I don't know a lot about maps. The basics, what I know, I can tell you. Just give me a second.
Yeah, yeah. This I would agree. If you can copy with this.
Should I share my screen?
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
Let me know when it's visible. Wow. That's why you had it on grid view. Okay.
Rahul, if you don't mind, can you please stop
Yeah,
screen sharing?
I'm checking. How do I stop it?
Uh, um,
Bottom left corner.
Bottom left, there is a screen icon. Yeah, click on that.
Um,
Uh, yes,
is
it
it
worked for
over
you.
now?
No, we can still see your screen.
Great.
I guess this is because you are on my on Firefox. Yeah, you probably need to refresh the tab. Yeah, Arjun, your screen is visible now, so you can start.
Okay.
Okay, please also increase the font size. Yeah, and I'm also sharing one more question. You can also cover that maybe.
Sure, sure.
The question is how to set up key bindings in Vim.
This was the one, right? Basics of setting up custom.
After this, so there are like three, four questions. So,
Okay.
like if possible, cover all of them.
Yeah, sure. So my basic setup is Tmux plus Vim. I use that day in and day out. Yeah. So let's just go to ILUG-D. Okay. So the thing about let's take it one by one. Maps. Maps are pretty useful. So things like let's say I'm using Control N for a nerd. So there is a plugin called Nerd Tree, and I have set up Control N as the trigger for issuing this command. So whenever I press Control N, I get this entire file tree that I can navigate from here, right? And then Control N again will switch it off. You can actually set it up to do anything you want. For example, uh, let's try this out. No remap control Q should uh, write and quit. CR is enter carriage return, right? So I will quit this, and then when I open Vim again, let's say some file ABCD, and then escape. Control Q is going should. Okay, it doesn't. Hmm. It's been a while since I did mappings. CQ, WQ, da, 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 da. Okay, I'm at a loss here. Probably someone else can explain how mappings work. But this is the way you map things. It's fairly simple. Mm, the other thing was about. Sorry, I don't think I can answer that question very well. Map, remap. Clipboard buffers. This is pretty useful. So I have this little thing in the end of my VimRC which lets me copy things into the X clipboard buffer. So so if you open some file
I think
and
right now it does it by default with those key bindings.
uh, by default as in what I have right here,
As if you do not have to configure.
might be. I'm not. It's been a while since I've updated my Vim. Uh, what's necessary is to have a clipboard thing here, I think. Uh, so that's the one you are looking for, clipboard, and I'm not sure if this is necessary or not. I remember the reason I had compiled it from scratch was because sudo apt get install vim used to have a lot of things missing. For example, it used to use Python instead of Python 3, and that was stopping a lot of things from happening. So the basic problem is that if I do A B C D something something something, right, and I write the file and I create a new file, say other, right? I can copy things between files. That's okay. Uh, so let's say cat sum, cat other, and the content is there. But the problem is that I can't copy from, let's say, Vim to some browser, right? So if I do Vim sum and then are you able to see the visual selection? I don't think you can see it on this theme. So if I do a visual selection and then I can double quote plus Y, that copies into the double quote plus is the default X clipboard. I think that's how Vim refers to it. And then I can come here and then just paste that stuff, right? Uh, the same thing happens. Let's say I pick this up, copy it, and then over here what I can do is double quote plus P, and that will paste it from system keyboard into this thing. So that's basically how you use system keyboard with the thing, with the Vim uh, clipboard. What else was there? Okay, maps. I don't really know how to use maps. I'm really sorry. Uh, yeah, I guess that's it.
You've also covered like your cursor with cursor line, so you can also like show what how this line is coming. So like
Oh, you
set
mean
cursor
this
line.
this line?
Yep.
Yeah. This one is coming from. So you can set. These are just options which are disabled by default. You can set these up in your VimRC. They don't require any plugins. So tabs part to appear. I'm not very sure.
You can also cover HLS for highlight.
Oh yeah, so let's say I want to look at no remap. So these are a lot of no remap. So HLS is what is when I search for something, it highlights it on the page. So yeah, this if you want to go through it, this entire thing is available online.
Yep.
VimRC. Just
Oh, you created it's. Let me share it
because
here.
it's a pain to transfer these to. There are ways to transfer your VimRC to other systems when you SSH, but I just use this. It's easier. Is there a way to increase font size in Vim without changing terminal font size? Hmm. I don't know. I don't think there is because Vim is using your terminal, right? It
Also,
should.
Right.
Rahul and Arjun, can you please go through the chat and maybe answer all the messages that I forwarded from YouTube chat?
Yeah, I'm looking at those only. How can I set up Vim for competitive programming? Uh, I don't do competitive programming. I've just done like practice problems on lead code and all of that. So when I do such things, I usually use I always use Tmux and Vim somehow. So what I like to do is cut the pane into two parts, right? And then I have some Vim sc.py, let's say, and print 1 plus 1, and what I like to do is just keep a while loop running over here, right? Or maybe just put a sleep in between, a sleep one, done. So that just keeps on running my code on the side. So that way I don't have to, and then I can just keep on quietly changing my code, and the output keeps on happening there on the side. So it's a little trick that I use to, you know, get get things moving. This is particularly useful when you're not sure of the solution. You're just going like discovering what has to happen. So something like So these kinds of problems are pretty popular. So yeah. Uh, what else was there? Could I suggest installing plugins for language support in which you're coding? Yeah, that's right. Language support you can do through LSP servers. So, for example, let's uh, I don't know. Competitive programming codes are usually just like one function or something. So you can use a lot of linting and all. I'm not sure about language. Uh, yeah, that's more or less it. Did I miss any question? How can I set up Vim? Is there a way to increase font size in Vim without changing term font size? I don't think there's a way to do this. Mm,
Same. I'm also searching, but I don't
yeah,
find.
because the hmm, maybe you could do it for uh, maybe you can have a tab, terminal tab, and keep a font size over there. So maybe create a new tab, and over here you keep a small font size. Uh, that way, when you switch between tabs, your you can do this in case you did not know this. So you can have two tabs running, uh, both of them can attach to the same Tmux session, and it will show things properly. So if I open a file let's say what's there, models by, right? So I can have large font over here, and in the other Tmux thing, I can other terminal. I don't need a large font. I can just continue with that. So you can do that. Mm, the thing I think Tmux versus styling Windows managers. Tmux is more about multiplexing. So
You cannot run GUI applications, graphical applications in Tmux. So if you want to have run graphical applications in
yeah.
Windows style, then you would go for window managers, tiled window managers. But then if we are running only terminal applications, textual based applications, then you would go with Tmux.
Okay. You don't have to. You can just let's say vimsc.py. You can run code from here itself. So bang takes you to the terminal, so you can just do python 3 sc.py, and that will give you your code, right? You can run code from there. Of course, it gets irritating to do this again and again. So there was something I had written. I'm not sure if it is still there.
Oh, I
But
forgot Control
okay.
W. So this is also Vim also has splitting in it. You can split
Yeah,
windows.
I had set up something so that whenever you write the file, you could do Control K and okay, this is the thing. So right now my tmux is mapped to something else. So let's open this file outside of tmux. Okay, so cd ILUG-D, cd will things. So what you can do is set up a key binding which will just show your output here. So I use Control K for that. Uh, this is pretty useful when you're doing those things. This is there in the vimrc if you want it. Vim uh, ck. So you can do this basically. Yeah. So it'll run your thing and get back to you within the same file. Okay. Using the watch program. Yeah, that was kind of like the while loop I had done on the side. And then we can set something that will build the moment you save. Yes, this key binding which was set up over here for control K, you can set it up for say, for example, an auto command. So whenever there is you are writing a HTML, where's black? That is a perfect example. Yeah. So you can say whenever you're writing a Python file, format it using black. So like that, you can set up, run the file every time you are saving it. It gets in the way sometimes when you're saving just for the sake of saving, but that's why I used Control K. Um, okay. Did I miss something? Okay, no, I think I got everything. Uh, yeah, I think that's it from my side then.
Great.
As
So,
Nikhil told in comments, watch can be used to print and not run. Nikhil, watch is used to run programs. I mean,
yeah, that comment was actually. Uh, so watch is like a monitoring program. Can be used for monitoring, but it's like executing a program over and over for a certain between a certain interval. So by default it's set to 2 seconds. So it
correct.
just run that script again and again every 2 seconds. So it's pretty useful in monitoring using scripts and watch. Yeah. Uh, I think that concludes it. So thank you everyone for coming. And I think we got late in the beginning because I was busy somewhere. And I hope you all had fun learning something new today. So the next topic we have is tomorrow on modern modern C programming, or as the speaker changed the title. So I don't know what's the new title is. So the title was Contemporary C++, some thing you weren't taught at school. So I guess it's a long due talk by Lucy. So it's happening tomorrow. Thank you everyone for coming for today's talk. And if you have any feedback, suggestion, or if you want to ask any questions, you can ask in the Telegram channel, mailing list, or Twitter. Work. Yeah, that's it. So I have shared the link for tomorrow's talk in the chat. So if you just want to check out what will be discussed in the talk, you can just go through the link and see what will be covered in the talk. That's all. So Nikhil, you can just cut off the screen if you. I think it's over. So yeah.